So you've got a big, gigantic bag of pasta now, Alex. How's that going for you?
Oh, mate. Honestly, best purchase of my life. Genuinely.
Pasta is
buzzing. And I've got a big bag of rice as well, so I'm sorted for like a year.
You just need to make sure you keep the bag away from like any water or that, or else that's some wet ass pasta. That's bad, eh?
So what you're saying is that's some WAP?
And the rice would be some wet ass rice.
Just make sure you have the drink or the difficult conversation wine.
Shush.
I knew it.
Go away.
I fucking knew it. Told you. Told you.
You still use a fucking amateur. That was a peep show quote. Nailed it.
I know, yeah. See, he's taken a thing and he's
ruining it.
He's blasphemised it.
I'm fucking actually bastardising it, eh? I'm destroying it.
Gang. Fucking gang.
Can I tell you about my Post-its now, Troll?
Let me do the intro. Right, let me do the intro.
Okay.
Let me do the intro. Not like a Yangy. You give it a bit of a cold open. You have a little bit of chat, a little bit. Hello, how you doing? Oh, we're so funny. Look, mid convo.
Oh, look, we're real friends. Oh.
Yeah, it's like we casually hit record while we were just talking, because that's we just talk. That's what we do.
And I didn't pause and then go, right, let's say something weird so that I get a response.
I mean, to be fair, we were supposed to. We did meet up to do the podcast at 11, and it is now like past 11.
That's that's whatever, guys. That's whatever. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Alex's dad and my mate Glendalf.
Hi Glendalf, I'm sorry.
Hi Alex's dad, I'm sorry.
I am not sorry. Never surrender. This week, as always, it's the terrible trio, the terrible triad. Throw them all. Alyx or Eloise music.
Oi oi.
Oi oi. And of course, Captain Privilege.
Sorry, I forgot I was meant to say something. I was.
Yanny.
Yanny. But yeah, how the devil are we all?
I'm fucking sweet, man. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty sweet. I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm good.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
I'm getting there.
Okay,
there.
Good. As long as you're on the up and up, that's the important thing.
You're actually like dreading Freshers Week, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm actually scared. I'm not gonna lie, because so the people in my house are like, "Oh, let's play Truth or Dare," and I'm like,
Let's not.
Wow, that sounds like some scandalous way. Like, let me get all the evil intel on you straight away,
exactly.
or make you do something that's going to embarrass yourself
and also,
straight away.
The other one, they're like, let's play Never Have I Ever, and I've like, but I have and always.
It's just nah. I don't like that kind of crap. That's really.
That's why
you
I'm
can tell me.
Scared.
The 21st century, they can't figure out a half-decent drinking game.
Do you know what, though, right? This is right. So the first week, it's my friend Russell's birthday. He hopefully won't listen to this, because otherwise this will spoil something. But we're making him a cake.
Does Russell wear paper pants?
He might.
You're baking him a cake.
Yeah, we're going to bake him a cake. That's my idea of Freshers Week. Let's just bake cake and have a good time.
Let them eat cake. God damn it, you're so English. Freshers Week, we shall eat cake.
Well,
it's because my uni's on the beach, so like we're going to do a birthday party on the beach. It's going to be great.
Right. Here's an idea, right? Instead of hitting them with this nonsense, we'll play Truth or Dare, lol. I'll give you some drinking games, right? Since we were talking about drinking last week, right? First off, Shark Attack, right? Pretty commonly known one. It's like the floor is lava type shit. You shout it, and literally everybody has to get up off the ground. Like their feet cannot be touching the ground, and the last one loses. Now, typically you do this on the way to the pub or something like that. You're on the next round, haha, tee hee, or you could play you've got it down in your drink or something like that. You know what I mean?
Sounds like.
There's one that's like a Scabby Queen. That one's a little more. Maybe wouldn't encourage it so much because it's like everyone pours the dregs of their drink into a glass, and then at the end it's so far like you just literally like whap at the cards, and whoever gets the yeah, I suppose that's that's not a vid friendly drinking
In
game.
this new
Not
world,
Rona
that's
friendly.
illegal.
Oh shit, fuck. Why do I always whack my head off my microphone every week?
Just before we go any further, because obviously this is actually, it's going to come out about 28 seconds after last week's episode.
Double fucking whammy this week, folks.
Yes. Although you didn't get anything last week, so sorry to keep the masses waiting. Yeah, basically we recorded in real life, which was nice, but it came with its own challenges. And as the man that does the editing, I was pulling my hair out trying to get it to sync. So it sounds like it's perfect at the very start. At the end, it sounds a wee bit like you're listening in surround sound. So it's a feature, not a bug, is what I'm trying to say. If you don't like it, you can
Fuck off.
I like it, and if you don't like it, you can.
He'll like
fuck
it.
off.
Make us a Patreon and start adding money to the Patreon, and we can build a studio. What?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We rent a place.
Yes.
We rent a place. That'd probably be better.
No, we can build a studio. We can convert Tro's garage to a studio.
Yes.
Yes, queen. But
Right.
yeah, post-it notes.
Post-it note.
Wet ass garage.
Wait, ask Postit notes.
Yeah, damn it.
Anyway, so yeah, I've
Wet
got post-it
ass
notes,
post-it.
and they're all different shapes and different colours, and it's very exciting. Troll is not happy
Yes,
about this.
so we were. No, the reason is because with post-it notes, if I put them on things and I have multiple post-it notes, I like them to be the same size. It's one of the very few things that I'm anal about. Like I can leave places of shithole and not care, but post-it notes, it needs to be like level. If you put another next to it, either needs to have just like a tiny space that's the same space as everything else, or it needs to be like right next to each other. So, what are the shapes?
Right.
Is the first question.
So, I have star ones because I'm a star.
Okay. That's fair. All these subscribers going to your head, but okay, that's fine.
I have arrow ones to point me to greatness.
Okay.
do you? Oh god, keep going.
Okay, you're losing me, but okay.
I have heart ones because I love myself.
Oh, that's right, okay.
Yep, lost a little bit more of me there. Yep, okay.
And then I have cupcake ones because I'm a fat bitch.
The only ones I can get behind are cupcake, but that's because I know paper is edible. Hopefully the glue is.
I don't know whether I really like or I'm really worried about the fact that you have little like mantras for each fucking one.
I'll let you in on a secret, Priv. I literally thought of that on the spot there. You know.
Improv.
It wasn't in the script.
Comedy.
They've went off script. Oh no!
I can't believe this. It's like the Truman Show. We're gonna have to detain you now.
I actually so I watched the Truman Show for the
Such a
first
good
time
film,
like a
really.
week ago.
Whoa!
Oh mate, it's amazing.
What did you
Actually
think?
phenomenal.
I really liked it, but I had Yangi sat there going, "So what do you think it's about? What do you think it is? What do you think?"
Oh, fuck off.
And I was like,
No.
So yeah, fuck you, Yangi.
Yangi! Yeah, that's where you just like, listen, I'm just going to put a muzzle on you just for the duration of the film.
No, because he might
Because-
like that, and that's not the aim, is it?
I mean, he would love it. Let's not bullshit. We all know he would. He'd be like, yeah! But yeah, it's such a good film, man. It's one of
Legal
those ones, like-
reasons and for not getting divorced reasons, that's a joke.
Definitely not a joke. 100% not a fucking joke. Yangi'd be fine with that. Yangi's a little bit of a freak, and I like it.
We need to stop slagging Yangi off. Right, moving on. Post-its. So basically, right. Troll isn't
Oh, wait, we're
happy
not
that
done?
all my
What?
Post-its are different sizes, but they are fine because they stack in height order.
Yeah, but they don't fit together. Like, you can't put the star down and then have the arrow pointing in it. I bet you the
Maybe
like, arrow
we don't
on the
fit
arrow.
together, Troll.
Well, maybe we don't.
Maybe.
Podcast's over.
And that's it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
I genuinely stopped recording and it's like, oh, this is fucking awkward. Just leave the call. It's like,
You got
I
like
just delete.
you
I
get
delete everything.
two episodes in 1 week, and the second one's the last one ever.
Yeah, you get 2 episodes. Like one's like an hour and a bit, the other one's 10 minutes, and it's just like, yeah, it's over. Bye.
Whatever happened to TUOP? The great fallout over the Postit note gate.
That's what we call the episode. Post-it note gate.
Post-it apocalypse. Aye.
Gang.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's been going on with all of y'all? What's
Well, I am.
what's new?
I
What's
am
different?
back in England. As you can probably
Sad
tell
days.
by my sound quality, which is actually okay this week.
Yeah, I can hear like random like wallabies in the background and shit, and like palm trees and like.
I love.
Yeah, so I'm back in England. I have basically packed for uni now. I've been tearing my hair out all week, driving Yangi absolutely mental. But we're getting there now. So I have literally just got clothes to pack, and then I am done. And then I move on Friday, so the day before the next podcast.
I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
Very happy. It's some much needed space of your own.
Indeed.
Is it have you actually been in the dorms and stuff? Are they quite biggish, or are they kind of just a room with a bed and a table?
Alright. It looks okay. It looks quite big. I've not actually been in, but I know people who have, and they said it's alright.
Nice. Is it a shared kitchen, shared kind of living space,
Shared
or
kitchen, shared living space, but my own bathroom.
That's good. Yeah.
Um,
The only thing to watch out for is as a person that bakes, is other people using the kitchen and leaving it a shit show. That's like the most frustrating thing. She's like,
No, to be fair, so everyone in my flat is not just out of school, so they all seem like fairly sensible.
Looks can be deceiving though, man. Looks can be very deceiving.
2 of them are called Maddie.
That's mad, eh?
Hey. But yeah, anyway, so what have you been doing then?
I've been doing nothing. Literally, I've done
Recovering
nothing this
from
week.
a hangover.
Hangover the whole
Basically,
week.
yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Like, it's probably been one of the just least motivated weeks of my life. Like, I literally, so we obviously we met up last weekend. It was a lot of fun, and then I met up. It was a good old Walkley boy's birthday on Monday. So we met up on Saturday. He's like, I'll go to the pub for a few. And I was like, no problem at all. So went to the pub, we were drinking, having a laugh. It was good. And then it was like, I've got a gaff. Do you want to come round? And I was like, fuck it. I've not been at a house party in a long time. You know what I mean? Like, my eyes scared off. I was like, house party. I've not heard of him in years. Went round and yeah, it was just madness. I didn't go home until like fucking 7:30 Sunday morning. Do you know what I did for the vast majority of the party? Is I showed everybody a 2-minute long video of my son laughing. That was literally, I was the gafta. I was literally just like, look at my baby. I was like, I know you don't give a fuck, right? But look at my baby. And then looked at him going, oh, he's cute. And I was like, no, he's more than fucking cute. He's perfect. Look at my fucking baby. And it was lit. And then it was like, so at the end, I had like a guy come up going, oh man, like obviously that way everybody's still steaming. It's that way I'm like, I'm beginning to sober up a little bit. And it's like, I want to just go home and sleep now. I'm like, I'm fucked. And this guy comes up and I'm like, lovely guy, dead nice. And he was just talking about, he's like, oh yeah, like my mum runs a daycare and all babies and kids and stuff. And I was like, man, I was like, I'm past that like euphoric stage. I'm like, I love me to bits, but what he's sleep now. It's that way I was like, for social interaction, I was like, I need to put some sort of effort. I was like, no man. And that's it. It's like, no man. It's like, oh my taxi's here. I need to go. Nice meeting you. Bye. Lovely guy. It was a fun night. It was yeah. I think it's going to be a while before I go as hard as that, because I am so fucking old now. I can't handle it. I actually can't handle it. Like, nah.
God's sake, man, you have a wean and that's you the hill.
It is. I'm fucked. Like I'm just fucked. Like literally, it's like I've just got no motivation. Like obviously I stream every Sunday, and that stream just, I mean. 3 hours before I was supposed to stream, I got home, so I was like, yeah, that's not fucking happening. And then Mrs. Troll came in, and she came in, so she's a little bit sadistic. So obviously every Sunday I stream, and it's like one of those ones where it's like I'm streaming at 10 just to make it weird, just try not to come through, try not to like bang pots and shit in the background, whatever. She was like, yeah, no problem. And then she came in at 10 and she was like, are you not going to stream? And I was like, you're a cunt. I was like, let me sleep. So she's going at 10 and she's like, troll. I'm like, oh.
The idea.
Your missus called you troll.
I mean, obviously not, but I'm not going to dox myself. Come on. If you want to know my real name, follow me on Instagram, troll them all. But yeah,
Follow me on
like,
Instagram, you bastard.
You on Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, see if you go on Instagram. Let me tell you my last post on Instagram was.
First the Post-it notes, now this. This is
Honestly,
definitely the last podcast,
this
man.
is the end of me and Troll.
It's over. This is it. This is the beginning of the end. However, I actually don't really use Insta. My last post was the 5th of August, actually. And it's a picture of an avocado. Me cutting an avocado. And the caption is, "Peel the avocado," which is lit. Oh, I need to request to follow you. Think you're some sort of big shot?
Yeah, pretty much.
Unbelievable.
Pretty much.
But yeah,
That's a non-shield.
It is the non-shield.
It doesn't work though. It literally doesn't work. But yes, that's how my week's been. My week has just been this dark pit of sitting, taking calls for work, going, "Oh, I fucking wish this was over." I just wish this was over. And every single person I speak to just going, "Can't you just not be an idiot and just deal your shit yourself?" Like, fuck me.
Life, bro.
I'm beginning to feel human-esque today, which is...
An entire
okay.
week later, bro.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, fucking, I can't handle it anymore. I'm an old fogey.
Don't do alcohol, kids.
No.
Yeah, alcohol, no good. Although real good at time. You feel good, happy, fun, party time, but yeah, no good later.
I had some gins last night, and I woke up this morning feeling rough.
You're just lightweights, man.
No,
Just
to be fair, I wasn't even
lightweights.
drunk, so I don't understand why I felt really awful this morning when I woke up. But I got up at like 7, so that probably didn't help.
Yeah, that's probably why.
I've been waking
Your body
up
didn't have
really
time to
early.
sleep through it.
But yeah, I've had a semi-productive week. We're
Glad to
getting
hear
some big things are going in Great Scotland, as well as Fawk Chronicles. Well, obviously you can't tell we've been talking with Tony, so we've got some plans on the go.
Yes.
But specifically to kick things off, we're taking my channel's podcast, The Unmonetizables, on a wee midi tour. So on Sunday, where we usually do it in the Fawk Chronicles Discord voice chat, we're going to do it in the Create Scotland voice chat this Sunday, and then the following Sunday we're going to do it in the Indie Scots voice chat, just to see, if there's anyone else we can sort of drag in and see what happens when we take it across servers, sailing across the servers and what have you. Also, myself and Tony have been slowly but surely DMing a bunch of the creators and names in Great Scotland to try and get together some sort of a weekly games night and a monthly so call it a podcast, but I see it more as like a sort of live, like monthly kind of experience, like a fucking late show kind of drinking podcast kind of
Nice.
thing, so we're sort of developing that idea now, working away, chipping away at that. Also had the great pleasure of getting a wee bit of a free channel review and some advice of the one and only Batchy yesterday in the general chat. He was in Create Scotland for his yearly visit, and and actually just started fucking dishing out free YouTube advice, man. Really invaluable stuff, like, so sitting soaking up that, and it's really it's funny because there was some things that I had already been thinking, like specifically in regards to like the podcast. The difference between our channel with this podcast is the channel is dedicated to this podcast, whereas my channel, it's got podcasts, it's got gaming, it's got commentary stuff. It's a fucking mess, especially because I haven't been uploading anything other than the podcast to my channel.
So it's became a podcast
been screwing up it's been screwing up the analytics big time. So what I'm going to do instead is just start taking clips from the podcast and leaving that more live exclusive kind of experience. So I'm quite chuffed with that.
I like it.
And obviously, as we were using earlier, to give us a wee shout for a website. It's worth maybe plugging, actually, if I remember what the fuck it was called. What was it called? What was it? Where was it?
Headlines.sharethrough.com.
That's the bad boy. A really good way to test your SEO of your YouTube title. Yeah. So I'm
Pretty.
I'm pretty chuffed. Like I'm pretty chuffed. Good wee week. Getting stuff sorted and slowly but surely getting the wind back under my sails again. Because I had been somewhat burnt out with it a bit, but now that I can see the light at the end of the tunnel and start formatting an actual plan, it's a hell of a lot more invigorating again. So yeah.
What?
Podcast topic of the week. Topic.
Yeah, boy.
Topic. We got a topic. Right? This is interesting, right? To me, anyway. So AJ Styles. It's a little known, big known, kind of known wrestler who was big in the indie circuits for years, but then got signed to WWE. Hold on 2 seconds. We've got to do something with these little minions. Sorry, these fucking cats are literally just fucking running up the walls. AJ Styles was big on the indie scene, and then finally got into WWE. He's become a little known within the internet communities of being slightly righty, Republican-y, possibly conspiracy theory, maybe believes in flat earthy, kind of anti-COVID-y. You know, he had some quote-unquote problematic views, shall we say. And but that aside, has allegedly cultivated a bit of a fucking toxic or negative atmosphere in the locker room where he works, because they're all split off into different shows now. You know, you get the Raw roster and you get the SmackDown roster, and they all stick to their own fucking shows. But apparently he's having a bit of a bad time over at the SmackDown roster, and decided to air all this out in an interview of some kind on a fucking social media platform. I do believe it was Twitch that he'd done it on, like an interview on a Twitch podcast or something. Yeah, so Vince McMahon handed down the new decree that as of I think it's couple of days into September, they are quite literally going to be stopping any and all fucking social media activities. I think they didn't say YouTube, but they were saying Twitch, they were saying TikTok, they were saying your podcast, all that sort of shit. It's over. It's done.
Stuff they can't vet, basically.
Yeah, because and it's a really interesting one, because they can't legally they shouldn't be able to tell them what to do with their own names, but I think this is going to extend over that, because there's a weird thing that happens in wrestling. Well, it's specifically the WWE, because McMahon's a fucking business genius. Made sure that anyone and everyone who joins, you're either signing me over your fucking name when you join, or I'm going to give you another name. Now, that practice has somewhat changed over the years. Certain artists, certain wrestlers, I suppose it's an art form, have came in and said, nah, I'm keeping my fucking name, you ain't getting that shit. You know, if they were smart enough, they'll have negotiated their way out of the contract. But for decades, this was the way it was. So now McMahon essentially owns your fucking name and your likeness. So you can't go, if he tells you can't do this shit, you can't do this shit. But where does that fall in like fucking American business law versus their freedom of speech laws? And then obviously with the tie-in with the social media stuff, as I pointed out to Alyx, the Xavier Woods, one of the leading tag team champ kind of guys, has spent the past 5 years building up a gaming platform on YouTube called Up Up Down Down, where he gets wrestlers on to play games with him. And not just wrestlers, he's had celebrities and for other accords and people within the game industry, and he's collaborated a lot with like big gaming company, big gaming what do you call them, influencers, I suppose, or like Kind of Funny, or like a big news enthusiasts, gaming news enthusiasts, for lack of a better term. They've collabed with him a bunch of times and stuff. So this would be really, really tragic if he gets his entire shit pulled down just because of one comment. And especially when you actually look at the roster of stuff like that has gone on for years, where people have traditionally been able to go on podcasts and say whatever the fuck they want, and McMahon hasn't said shit about it. So yeah, what do we think, folks? What's the verdict? What's the take? What's the hot takes?
So to start with, I have to be really honest with you, Prev. You know how I sent you that message and was like,
I've heard of him.
I've heard of him. Right? No, I know. I was like, oh, I recognise him. Do you know how I worked out what I thought I recognised him?
Okay.
He looks like Miley Cyrus's dad.
He does look like Billy Ray Cyrus. He does look like Billy Ray Cyrus. I can't say like he's got a wee mad goatee and but slightly long hair, and he definitely he's got that southern kind of look about him as well.
Yeah.
That's
But yeah,
crazy.
my
That's
sort
not
of
really
verdict is, why can't you just say like, oh, I don't know, if he's not hurting anyone, that's my opinion.
Well, arguably, what McMahon would then say is that he's hurting the business by exposing what's going on in the back room. Now, I mean, even just on like a small level, I think at the end of the day, the podcast stuff I've heard, or like the stuff the bulk of the stuff you get on YouTube, it's water under the bridge type stuff, or it's really old stuff. It's not current. Either these guys are not employed, or the people they're talking about are no longer employed, or it was so many years ago now, no one gives a fuck. But for him to actively speak on feuds or beefs or shit that's going on in the locker room in real time, that is sowing seeds of discontent. That is proper. Like that's, I'd imagine by any your footballers get fined for that shit if they start slagging the manager off. You know, they go in on the fucking referee and shit, and your basketball teams and what have you. They're all like told tight-lipped, man. You don't talk about what's going on in the fucking locker rooms. If nothing else, for your own goddamn safety, because your ass is now everybody's going to be looking at you that kind of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus, you're property of Vinnie Mac, so you can't
Right,
can't really be doing that.
Can you explain this to me? So I was reading upon it because you told me to, and and I didn't understand because it was like, oh, you can't use your likeness. Well, your likeness is your face.
Yeah.
So what?
This is what I was kind of trying to get at, but maybe I didn't explain it so well. Right, when you are a wrestler, like say your name's fucking Davey McNichol, right?
Right.
You go to WWE and they don't go, right, okay, so you're Davey McNichol, right, how are we going to work with that? Nah. They stand about or sit about or get a team together and go, right, what we're going to call you? What's your gimmick? No, we're going to call you the Dave Meister or the Davinator 3000. They'll come away with a bunch of different stuff. And now, as I was saying before, what Vince McMahon very cleverly done, but also very deviously done, was when he was taking on board big talent and basically siphoning off talent from all the indie circuits, he would change people's names.
Alright.
You would have big stars. There was a guy, famously, he was a huge heel, well-known, a big draw in the industry, just means he was fucking drawing in tickets, putting arses in seats, even as a heel. I can't remember his actual name. This is symptomatic here, exactly what the problem is. And McMahon hired him and named him Bastion Booger. Put him in the equivalent of a 90s, early 90s mankini, and would have him come out and just stuff his face with burgers and hot dogs and shit.
What the fuck?
It was a huge embarrassment. It was horrific. The character was disgusting. Obviously, no one bought it. It pretty much crushed the guy's career. And there are rumours that was a bit of a personal vendetta that Vince had for whatever reason, relating back to fucking business done years before.
Yeah.
But then you got like situations where like the Dudley Boys, famous tag team, they started in ECW. They were the Dudley Boys. It was all gravy. They moved to WWE. They came to WWE as the Dudley Boys, and the merchandise was fucking popping. Everyone was wearing Dudley t-shirts and glasses and bandanas. All that shit was popping like crazy. They left WWE, go to TNA, and all of a sudden his name was no longer Bubba Ray Dudley. It was Bully Ray. And he wasn't a Dudley boy. They were the Dudley brothers. And just little stuff like that. You know, like there was a famous issue no longer with a guy called Matt Hardy, where he was calling himself the Broken Matt Hardy, and the hashtag
The
broken.
final deletion.
Yeah. And then he left that company for another company with the same gimmick, with the same name, and they were trying to sue him for that and trying to be like, here, no, that's our gimmick. And he's like, no, it's fucking not. But okay, in the meantime, I'll just call myself Woken Matt Hardy. But there's lots of fuckery like that. Now, McMahon, like I said, with WWE, it's a little more deviant, because when they take that right, they're taking that right to put you in computer games. They're taking that right for licensing, for merchandising. They're putting your face in all the promotional material and stuff, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, yeah, they own your fucking likeness. A guy who's very well known, big star no long ago, Dean Ambrose, jumped ship to another company, and all of a sudden his name's John Moxley. And it was a really weird transition, you see, because it was less of a gimmick. Like, his name was just Dean Ambrose. And then he went to this other company, and it's like, no, now it's John Moxley. It was like another gimmick. It was just another name. It's the same guy. He acts the same. He does the same. He wrestles the same. But they literally just changed his name, and everyone's like, "Yeah, his name's John." You're like, "No, it's fucking not. Everyone knows it's not. What's going on here?" Fuck.
He does the exact same moves with slightly different names. Like,
so again, so what McMahon done? It is smart, but it's also kind of shitty, because when you sign with them, that's it. Like, fuck, what was his name before? Was Drew Galloway?
Mm-hmm.
Was fucking Drew Galloway for years. And apparently, 5 minutes before his fucking debut in WWE, they went, nah, that's not Scottish enough. Drew McIntyre. And then they threw him at the doors. They just changed the name, and like, obviously they're probably spinning it to him like, oh, it's just a wee gimmick change. But in actual fact, it probably now means that they own Drew McIntyre and the rights to Drew McIntyre. You know, like, which is fair enough. But at least they didn't get Drew Galloway. You can always go back to that name, but then it's also going to make it difficult for you to.
I'm pretty sure
like
Galloway's
changing your name, you know. Eh?
Galloway's a great brand of cheese.
It's also a place.
What is your obsession with cheese? Every week you talk about cheese.
Cheese is legitness.
I think it's probably some sort of a thinly veiled slagging of my obsession with this story, perhaps, maybe.
Not at all, actually. I do love cheese. I'm actually, after this, I'm going to have some macaroni cheese for lunch.
Macaroni!
I might add some extra cheese.
That's some wet ass pussy.
Whoa, wet ass privilege.
Wet ass privilege.
So yeah, it's like I say, so to me it's interesting to see what's going to happen with the social media side of this and the stories with this, and like someone like Xavier Woods, who spent his fucking time actually building up a platform that is arguably beneficial to wrestling, because it could potentially bring in a lot of gaming fans to go, you know what, fuck it, he's actually quite cool. I know I certainly watched a little more wrestling the more Xavier Woods got involved with loads of gaming outlets and podcasts and stuff like that, because I thought, you know what, that guy's pretty cool, man. I'm down with that. Like that sounds like a cool. I'm not a huge fan of the channel, but I'd imagine if you were a proper wrestling dork fan, you and into your gaming, you might watch some of that stuff. I've seen some of it, you know. It's literally just and the fact he'd done it himself. This wasn't a WWE studio. He was traveling from stadium to stadium with an extra suitcase full of all his recording equipment, the consoles, the games, the lighting, all that stuff, setting up, getting these guys in their spare time to come and film it, you know?
Yeah.
They absolutely love. He loves his Switch. I've seen him on. It was Achievement Hunter. It wasn't just Xavier Woods. There's a couple of them. But they were on it, and he's like, "Yeah, I fucking love my Switch, man. Like, it's so good." And they were playing Chicken Horse. They're like, "You can get this on Switch? Fuck yes, let's get it. Let's play this in the tour buses. It's gonna be phenomenal." And it's like, it's cute. It's these big, burly, strong men that literally fight for a living going, "I like my Nintendo." It's fucking brilliant.
It's even funnier when they're proper, like, almost esports going at each other again, but there's still that element of campy wrestling, like, like, again, see huge guys like, "I beat you at Super Mario." You know, it's not as deadly brilliant as it should be, but it's good, man. It's fun. But to think that that could be gone because of one man's hissy fit, and I think it's definitely a shame, AJ Styles. To me, he was a bit of a letdown because I'd heard so much about him in Independence, and I'd seen some of his stuff in Independence, and he was definitely a big up and comer. But to me, they kind of signed him, I don't want to say when he was past his prime, but it certainly felt like he wasn't being utilised in any kind of huge manner. Like, there was always a big imaginary match people wanted to see him versus Chris Jericho, because they were very similar fighting styles. But like, arguably Jericho's way older and should be way more over the hill, but fucking Styles was just nowhere near as spry as he should have been for me in that match specifically. So yeah, before I get too much dorking out on it, you know, AJ Styles, flat earther confirmed.
That's it. It's over. He's done.
Yes.
He's going to fall off the end of the planet past that massive ice wall.
It's scary as well because like I say, I do listen to a lot of these older wrestlers and that talking about previous stuff, like behind the stage stuff and beefs and loads of travelling stories. They've got incredible stories from when they used to like actually just all body up and drive across the country and get into all sorts of mischief and shit, you know. To think that there's a potential that in future guys are going to be scared to do that because of
if
this.
they do it, they can't record it and share it, which the fans would like.
The chances they're not going to be able to go back to WWE over this. Like, it is really funny and ironic as well because like the most outspoken of them all, Jim Cornette, an old manager, he's fucking put everybody on blast. He's told all the fucking stories. He doesn't give a fuck, and he will still get a job every now and then and going back. I kind of think McMahon's just sort of like, oh well, fuck it. He's too good not to, you know what I mean? But yeah, so.
The power of knowing your worth. You can be like, no, I can fucking do this because they need me. Idiots.
Like, so they're banned for Twitch, I know that for a fact. There's no TikTok, which I didn't really think, no, the wrestlers were doing TikToks. And he's literally said himself he doesn't even watch WWE anymore. That's one of the quotes I'm seeing here. So you don't even watch the show you're involved in. Basically, he's just shitting on his own job on stream. Yeah. Like, that's, bro.
To be fair, that kind of comes with any job though. Like, no matter what you do, when you first start out, you're like, this is great, I love this. And then a year and a half, 2 years later, you go, yeah, this is shit and I hate it, because people they get complacent, they get bored, and it sounds like they're probably treated like shit, in all honesty. Yeah. The fans will love them, but behind the scenes it'll be like, we fucking own you. So it'll be like, yeah, that's... the
biggest accounts have been a case of, like, when you get to WWE, it's always very much like a Hollywood type thing. Yeah. Where you really have no creative control, you've no got too much input. They are essentially feeding you your storyline and telling you what the fuck's going down. Whereas in more independent circuits, or like the newest one, AEW, they're getting a lot more leeway and a lot more say and a lot more control over their character and their gimmick, for better or worse, mind you, because that is a risky thing to let people do.
Yeah, somebody comes out and they haven't discussed it, and they come out and like, my gimmick is I'm a child snatcher. You're like, oh my fucking god.
You know?
And he's like, I'm not going to be a heel though. It's like, no, you're a fucking heel, mate. I like that. I like that a lot. That if I wrestled, that'd probably be my gimmick.
Yeah, like there's some of the old stuff was crazy, like fucking Papa Shango and shit. And but they used to literally, like, the Iron Sheik just used to come out waving an Iranian flag, just like "Death to America," like shouting.
It's mental.
Holy
it's
fuck!
Actually,
like I think
mental.
of one of the indie circuits somewhere. There's literally a guy. It's like Norman the Nazi. He just comes out with a fucking swastika on his shirt, just spitting at people and shouting and shit. Like, holy fuck, bro! Like that stuff's insane.
It's actually it's mental, some of the shit that goes on. You're like, this is it's not really okay. But I mean, to be fair, you're playing the bad guy and you know you're the bad guy, so maybe it's okay because you're demonizing it, but also you're propagating it. It's weird. Some of that weird shit. But yeah, I think that's probably. What are you saying there?
So I
Alex?
watched Glow and
you're very quiet.
good. Am I?
Yeah. You said you watched Glow before.
Quiet,
like Glow's pretty good. Glow's pretty good.
I liked it.
It was quite. It seems to be fairly true to like the old aesthetic and the old ways of thinking and stuff as well. It was your 80s wrestling, and straight up like it wasn't so much about the talent per se of the wrestling as much as it was do you have the look?
Yeah.
Can you pull it off? Can you draw the crowd? Can you pull in heat? XYZ. Can you sell a fucking character?
Yeah.
As much as it is whether or not you could wrestle. Like obviously I'd argue back then there was a lot more put into the ability to actually wrestle. Whereas these days it can be a little more like, oh, did they look the part? Sound, get them in there. Oh wait, they've just injured several fucking people. Like what?
They just went fucking clobbering.
Honestly, that is like there was a big star a couple of years back. There was a rather large lady was in, and yeah, they looked like a monster. They looked like a beast, and they looked the part. But they were fucking injuring people left and right.
Yeah.
Because they were so green, like what they call it, and then there's these green. They just didn't have the fucking capability down yet. They weren't as well versed in the in-ring ability, and as a result, they were fucking literally just like putting people out of work.
Yeah.
Over it. It was fucking horrific. You know what I mean? But I think they learned a lot from that, because that was like a couple of years ago, at the height of at the start of the quote unquote women's revolution, they called it. Whereas at one point, about a year ago, about a year and a half ago, the women's wrestling was far superior to the guys at the time. And I could argue even some elements of some of the female wrestlers are doing a lot better. Like they'd done a joint Royal Rumble a while back, where they for the first time ever done a women's Royal Rumble. During the Royal Rumble, and that was fucking incredible. That was really, really good. There was some people that maybe didn't need to be out there, but they had to fill a fucking ring with 30 female superstars, which is impressive that they could do in the first place. But
yeah, well,
yeah,
interesting.
Cool. So wrestling topics are not going to be done in the future as much, because we've covered everything to do with wrestling ever.
I think so.
That's it. Wrestling is that completed it, mate. Completed it.
Wrestling in peace. I just like. I mean, how would you feel if your fucking job turned and says, "Yeah, but you can't TikTok. Yeah, you can't Twitch stream because you work for us. We own your like this. You can't Twitch stream." Now, I'd argue you're not in the entertainment business in your job, so you're not going to face that type of shit. Whereas when you're a big face on a big brand, do they then have the right to do that? Who knows? You decide, folks. Let us know in the comments below.
It's mental. America as well is supposed to be like fucking land of the free and home of the brave and all that shit. So this is like a big it's a big thing for civil liberties. Like, yeah, no, you can't make any other content except this now, cunt. Like, no, you shouldn't really be able to do that. And I'm fairly sure there's some sort of amendment that stops that, or there'll be something going on in the background.
Yeah,
that they
of course
can
there will
legalize,
be.
'cause
Guess what? That's fine.
okay.
You're not going to get booked. We're not going to have you in any of our shows. Slowly but surely, we're just going to fuck you till you want to leave. We're not going to sack you. We're just going to fuck your life, fuck your career, you know? Like, or we're going to put you in the shittiest storylines, destroy your credibility, you know? Like, oh no, it's fucking scary.
Yeah.
It is scary.
Yeah.
Mental. Actually fucking mental.
Cool.
Right,
Crazy.
let's let old man Troll get back to his fucking hangover bed. His hangover
Yes,
hammock.
Oh my
I'm gonna actually. Do you know what I'm actually gonna do? I'm gonna edit this podcast first of all. That's the very first thing I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna try Final Fantasy 14 online because they've changed it recently so that you can now. I don't know if it's exclusive to PC, but you can basically play the full main game plus the first expansion up until your level 60 for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Which
I heard
is
that's the
mental.
first major expansion they've definitely added. The time with Final Fantasy 14, you've always been able to play it, but you get up to a certain
It's a
level,
subscription.
and then there's a subscription fee. Whereas now they've said like, right, no, you get the fucking first major expansion for free as well, which is just huge. It's
Yeah,
huge.
the level cap as well for the free to play is 60, which is like that's literally so many hours of gameplay that's added into it that's there. So I'm gonna give that a go because I've got some mates of mine who were addicted for about a year and a half. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a go, see how it goes, and hopefully it'll be fun.
Very nice.
Awesome. Enjoy yourself. What are you up to the day, Alex? Anything planned?
I'm gonna go and eat because I'm starving, and then after that, I will probably be doing more packing and more stressing. Yay!
Yay! I thought you were going to say you were going to sit and play with your post-it notes and just to wind up Troll.
Wet ass, post it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get some, possibly get some editing done today and get some, get developing on some of this stuff. I want to get some things prepared for this, this fucking Create Scotland official, unofficial, official
Yeah.
podcast.
The official podcast.
Yeah, get some pre-production done and stuff. I can sort of pull up my ass, so that'll be fun.
Gang. Thanks for tuning in, boys, ladies, gems, jelly spoons, anything, everything, whatever you are, whoever you are. Have a lovely weekend, and thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.